Hey guys, welcome back to Quantum Quiz. I'm Carl, and today, we're diving into something truly terrifying. An element so unstable, so deadly that scientists themselves feared it. Let's uncover the story of the element that should never have existed. What if I told you there's an element so powerful that just a few grams could erase an entire city? It's invisible, untouchable, and yet, it shaped the most destructive moment in human history. This is plutonium, the deadliest element ever created. In the vast cosmic forge of dying stars, 92 natural elements were born, the fundamental building blocks of our world, our bodies, our reality. For millennia, we believed that was the complete set, a finite list of ingredients gifted to us by the universe. We were wrong. The story of the 94th element isn't one of cosmic birth, but of human creation. A story that begins not in the heavens, but in a world consumed by war. It all started in the 1940s. The world was engulfed in conflict, a global struggle that pushed science and technology to their absolute limits. Every nation was desperate for an edge, a secret weapon that could turn the tide. Amid World War II, a frantic, top-secret race was underway. Physicists on both sides of the conflict were chasing a theoretical promise of unimaginable power, a power locked deep inside the nucleus of the atom. The discovery of nuclear fission in 1938 had opened a Pandora's box of possibilities. It was clear that the first to weaponize this discovery would not just win the war, but dictate the future of humanity itself. The stakes could not have been higher. Far from the battlefields, in a quiet laboratory at the University of California, Berkeley, a team of brilliant minds was working on a crucial piece of this puzzle. Led by the young chemist Glenn Seaborg, they weren't just trying to understand the atom. They were trying to build a new one from scratch. Their tool was the cyclotron, a powerful particle accelerator that could smash atoms together with incredible force. On a cold night in February 1941, they bombarded a sample of uranium with deuterons, the heavy hearts of hydrogen atoms. What they created was something never before seen on Earth, a new, unstable element that quickly decayed into another. And inside a small lab at UC Berkeley, Glenn Seaborg and his team did the impossible. They had isolated a microscopic, yet momentous quantity of this brand new substance. They named it plutonium, after Pluto, the planet discovered just a decade earlier, continuing the sequence that began with uranium and neptunium. This was an element born from human curiosity and ingenuity, not from nature. A truly synthetic creation. But this was no mere academic curiosity. Theoretical calculations suggested that a specific isotope, plutonium-239, was not only fissile but potentially far more potent and easier to produce in large quantities than the uranium being pursued by other arms of the project. The power contained within this new substance was staggering. 1 gram of it had the explosive energy of tons of TNT. A sphere the size of a softball could unleash a force equivalent to 20,000 tons of conventional explosives. The scientists at Berkeley had not just discovered a new element, they had forged the key to the atomic bomb and in doing so, had given humanity a terrible, world-altering new power. That discovery changed everything. In 1945, the US tested the first plutonium bomb, Trinity. Seconds after detonation, the desert turned to glass and a new era began, the atomic age. Plutonium powered the bomb dropped on Nagasaki, Fat Man, wiping out tens of thousands in seconds. The world had officially entered the age of man-made destruction. But the danger of plutonium isn't just in explosions. The mushroom cloud is the icon of its immense power, a symbol of geopolitical might and fear. Yet the true, persistent danger of this element is far more insidious. It's a silent threat that doesn't announce itself with a flash and a bang, but with a quiet, relentless decay. It's in its invisible radiation. To understand this, we have to look at the atomic level. Plutonium is an unstable element. Its nucleus is heavy and crowded, and to achieve a more stable state, it sheds parts of itself. This process is called radioactive decay, and the particles it ejects are a form of radiation. Plutonium primarily emits alpha particles, microscopic bullets that destroy living cells. An alpha particle is essentially the nucleus of a helium atom, 2 protons and 2 neutrons. It's relatively large and heavy on the atomic scale, and it carries a positive charge. This makes it highly interactive and incredibly damaging, but only over very short distances. In fact, an alpha particle can be stopped by something as simple as a sheet of paper, or even the outer layer of your skin. If you held a piece of pure plutonium in your hand, which is absolutely not recommended, the alpha radiation wouldn't penetrate your skin. The danger isn't from external exposure. The real threat begins when plutonium finds a way inside the body. If you inhale even a dust-sized amount, it can stay in your lungs for decades, silently damaging your DNA. Once inside, there's no layer of dead skin to protect your living tissues. The alpha particles are released directly into the delicate cells of your lungs, your liver, or your bones. Each particle acts like a tiny cannonball, tearing through cellular structures and, most critically, shattering DNA strands. Our cells have repair mechanisms, but the intense, localized damage from alpha radiation can overwhelm them. A single unrepaired error in the genetic code can be the seed for cancer, years or even decades later. This is why plutonium is considered one of the most potent carcinogens known. That's why it's handled with robotic arms, thick glass walls, and suits that look like they belong in space. These aren't just precautions, they are absolute necessities. Every stage of handling plutonium, from its creation to its storage, is governed by a philosophy of containment. The goal is simple: keep it isolated from the biosphere at all costs. The thick leaded glass of a hot cell, the airtight seals of a glove box, the filtered air systems, every component is designed to place an unbreakable barrier between this deadly element and all living things. In the high-stakes world of nuclear physics, the line between discovery and catastrophe is terrifyingly thin. After World War II, at the Los Alamos laboratory, a 6.2-kilogram plutonium sphere was used for experiments known as tickling the dragon's tail. These tests were designed to find the exact point the core would go supercritical, the threshold for a nuclear chain reaction. Scientists worked with a force they were only beginning to understand, often with improvised safety protocols that left no room for error. This particular sphere would soon earn a chilling nickname, cementing its legacy in scientific tragedy. The first incident occurred on August 21, 1945. Physicist Harry Daghlian was stacking tungsten carbide bricks around the core to act as a neutron reflector. As he moved the final brick, his hand slipped. The brick fell onto the sphere, instantly pushing the core into a supercritical state. A brilliant blue flash of Cherenkov radiation erupted. Daghlian instinctively pulled the brick away, but he had absorbed a fatal dose of radiation. He died 25 days later from acute radiation poisoning. Less than a year later, the same core was at the center of a second fatal accident. On May 21, 1946, physicist Louis Slotin was demonstrating a similar experiment. He used a flathead screwdriver to keep two beryllium hemispheres from closing completely around the core. A notoriously risky technique. The screwdriver slipped, the hemispheres slammed shut, and again, the room was flooded with a searing blue light. Slotin tore the hemispheres apart with his bare hands, stopping the reaction and likely saving the 7 other men in the room. But in doing so, he sealed his own fate. He had been exposed to an even greater dose of radiation than Daghlian and died just 9 days later. In the wake of these tragedies, the scientists at Los Alamos gave the sphere its infamous name, the Demon Core. The incident served as a brutal lesson, leading to the immediate end of all hands-on criticality experiments and the development of remote-controlled assembly machines, forever changing safety protocols in the nuclear age. The Demon Core itself was later melted down, its material repurposed for another nuclear test. But here's the twist. Plutonium isn't just a weapon, it also powers spacecrafts like Voyager 1 and 2, still traveling beyond our solar system today. It's keeping our eyes open to the universe, while reminding us of our darkest history. The same element that can destroy life also helps us explore new worlds. So, is plutonium really the deadliest element? Maybe, but the truth is, the most dangerous element on Earth isn't found on the periodic table. It's human ambition, because every time we create something powerful, we stand on the edge of brilliance and destruction. This is Carl, and you've been watching Quantum Quiz. Stay curious, but careful.